Hello, welcome back to Mark's Garden UK at Rose Cottage near Nantwich in Cheshire. This is the Mediterranean scented border at the side of this path. Those are the olive trees which I've spoken to you about. And round here at the back of the cottage, between these two bamboos, is my exotic tropical border and my tree fern garden at the back. And I want to get some footage and give you a bit of an update so that in a few weeks' time, when it's burst into life, we can compare the before and after. So come inside and I'll show you what we've got. This is essentially two areas. This is kind of an entertaining space here with the exotic tropical border to two sides of that, and then round here at the very back of the cottage, and this tends to be shady all year round, I've got my tree fern and fern garden. We're going to have a look at the top of these tree ferns at the moment. Everyone seems to be talking about tree fern crowns at the moment. I'm going to talk to you about mine in a moment too, but for now let's just have a look. Now last year I covered this border in about 4 inches of manure. I'm very lucky because my neighbours have ponies, so I've got an endless supply of manure. So I got about 6 barrow loads and I covered the border. I also chopped a lot of the vegetation down and put the vegetation on top. So this is a very, very good mulch. And on top of that mulch, all winter time, there has been weed fabric. And I've just removed the weed fabric and I want to have a look in a little bit more detail at what we've got and what I think we might have lost. Now here is an addition to the border. That's a tree fern. And I've moved that there because I had a sculpture over there by the cars. And I've moved him around the back of the cottage over here, and you'll be able to see him in a moment. I'll give you him in a bit more detail, and I've got a plan for that bit of area there as well. So anyway, getting back to the exotic tropical border, down here you'll be able to see my shadow in the camera. Anyway, there we go. Down there is a load of canners, and I decided to leave the canners in this year. It was a bit of an experiment. I don't normally leave canners in the ground, I normally dig them up, but hey presto, because of the protection I put in place, even though, despite the fact that we had temperatures down to -6, these canners have survived and they're starting to come up. You can see them there. And I'm hoping that because they've remained in the ground and they're quite established, we'll have a fantastic display of canners all the way up this wall this year. So there are the canners. I'll have to wash my hands after touching this manure, but anyway, great stuff that for the plants. Down here, some red hot pokers, which actually stayed green all year, all winter underneath the weed fabric, so they've got a head start. And that there is a colocasia pink china, and it's already starting to grow. So hopefully we'll have a nice big colocasia pink china there. These are my Musa Basjus green bananas, and I revealed them the other day in a video. And I cut the tops off, and you can see already they're already growing. These have survived, and because I managed to protect these pseudo trunks, they're not true trunks, they're made of leaves. I call them trunks, but they're actually pseudo trunks. But because I managed to protect them through the winter, they have got a head start, and I've got an extra bit of growth, about 2.5 foot of growth. So hopefully, if I can keep doing this, repeating the exercise every winter, and these survive, I'll have bananas all the way up this wall. Now, down here somewhere, there should be a ginger. No signs of it yet. A Himalayan ginger. At the back there, we did have more canners, and I'm waiting for those to show themselves. This tree fern is here. Let's have a look at its crown. Very, very gently feel inside the crown. And if it's firm and if you can feel knuckles, there's every chance that you've got a surviving plant there. And there's no reason why tree ferns shouldn't survive. They should be hardy in this country. I have protected these for the winter, and you can see a video on my channel about protecting tree ferns. I'll talk to you in a bit more detail about tree ferns in a moment. That's doing okay. That's just been transplanted. Actually had some good roots underneath it. Here, last year I had a big red banana and Sete Morillii, but I'm not very hopeful. It's in the garage and it's not looking great. So it might be that that's not survived the winter. All the way along this border here, I have underneath this mulch of manure exotic tropical plants ranging from colocasia, pink china. There's a tetrapanax. I'm going to look at the tetrapanax in a bit more detail close up. Over there, Trachycarpus fortunei. it really suffered. A lot of the leaves went brown in that very severe frost. Right down there at the back is a crinium. Now let's have a look at this Tetrapanax to see if there's any signs of life. It was a big plant this year, by the way. It was up here. It was a great big plant, great big leaves about 1 foot wide, and it died back. I did put straw around its roots, but look here, down here, can you see there? Down near my finger, a sprouting bud of a branch coming out. There's another one, and there are several on here. That survived the winter. Tetrapanax survived the winter outdoors with a good mulch. Down here to the left somewhere is another Colocasia pink china, but I can't see any. There it is, there it is. Can you see it there? That's encouraging. Not seeing that. These are the wires for some outside lighting. These are amazing, these outside lights, by the way. You just plug them in and just put them in the ground, and these uplight the wall. I'll probably give you a little bit of footage this evening from those. But there's a link to those on my Amazon channel, by the way. I'll put it in the description box below this video. They're plugged in the outbuilding, and the wire runs along the ground, and they uplight this wall. And as the plants grow over them, they give a lovely luminous green effect in the evening. So there we are. Not much to speak of really in the exotic tropical border, but come back in about a month's time and I'm pretty sure that you won't be able to see the earth, and of course I will give you an update on that. Let's go and have a look at these tree ferns and the rest of the ferns in the fern garden at the very rear of the cottage. That's the winding path I put in and the patio. Again, videos on these on my channel if you want to know how to do this. It's a pretty straightforward task. It takes a little bit of hard work. Down here I have some hostas, Empress Woo and Jurassic Park, and in actual fact, look there, that looks like a hosta coming up. There's a shuttlecock fern, and over here on the other side of the path is another shuttlecock fern. You know, you've mirrored it on either side of the path, so you've got to walk through. These ferns will stay green all winter. And look here, this is the mind your own business. This is the plant which I propagated at the back of the garage in a bathtub. It survived the winter. It suffered here, it struggled here, but it's all coming back to life. And there's another one of the Empress Woo hostas. Can you see, look? Isn't this a wonderful time of year when all these plants start to come back to life? Let's have a look in the top of these tree ferns. And we'll start with this medium-sized one here, because that's the one I can reach quite easily without getting a chair. Again, very, very gently, just gently touching top of here. There's a knuckle, that's a frond about to unfurl. There's another one, it's firm, it's survived 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm feeling 6 or 7 fronds in the top of this one. Now, there's a tale to tell you about this tree fern, because we bought that with a guarantee that we could take it back. 3 years ago we bought this. It did nothing for 2 years, and then last year it suddenly produced a lot of fronds, and it's already on the move already there. Look, you can see some fronds coming through. Let's take a look over here and have a look at the other tree ferns. There's Pan, by the way. Quite a kind of gothic pagan look about him. And I've got an idea for this. I actually don't own that piece of land there. That belongs to my neighbour, so I'm going to put a contemporary black screen at the back of Pan. I'll show you a little picture of it because I've done a drawing of it already. All these ferns have survived the winter and they're all coming through. This is my coffee area, by the way. Do you remember last year when we had a really, really hot spell in the summer? This is where I used to come and sit in the cool shade and drink my coffee. Hello, Pan. Again, let's have a look in the top of this. Some very, very solid fronds, all curled up knuckles. This is where the plant is. This is a living plant. There's actually not much life in that trunk, although they do produce roots at the bottom. And I did a video on tree fern roots. You can see it on my channel. I sound like a broken record, but again, this has survived the winter. If you've got any concerns about your tree ferns, I would say just be patient. Don't worry about them. You know, Just let them come back to life. Keep them moist. Don't let them dry out. Don't over the water them when it's really cold, but don't let them dry out. And be patient. Little stumpy one down here. There we are, look. Nice green frond, solid. If it was dead, that would be black and mushy, but it's not. It's green and firm and hard. A lot of people get concerned about the crown closing up, like this one appears to be, but I've never had a problem with that. And in actual fact, if you keep that moist, the strength in those knuckles as they unfurl will just push that open like a rosebud. You don't need to worry. Now let me get a chair and climb up and have a look in the top of these two large tree ferns. These are the ones that we would probably be most upset about if they had died, because these were very expensive plants. They've gone up to about £60 a foot, these. We bought these from the palm tree company, and they're not inexpensive. I think this was knocking on the door of 500 quid, this one here. So I would be very, very, very sad if that had died. So I'm now going to climb up on a chair and look inside. Let's have a look at this one first. I'm feeling in with my hand. Oh, there's plenty of very solid knuckles inside there. I'm holding the camera. Guesswork with the camera work, really. I can't actually see what I'm filming, but I can feel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's at least 10 fronds inside of that tree fern. I've got no worries about that whatsoever. That's definitely a living tree fern. This one, let's go and have a look. Again, a bit of guesswork with the camera position. Let's see if I can reach it without a chair. It feels like putting my hands in a bird's nest, this one. You know, it reminds me when I was a child. I had a bit of a flashback. Oh yeah, there's a living fern there. There's a living frond just there where my finger is, my index finger. I hope you can see that on camera. There's one there. There's another one down here. Again, that is reassuring. That is definitely a living tree fern. And look at it, soaking up the light. And look at that blue sky. Spring is definitely upon us. The temperatures are rising. That lovely brick wall there, look at it. And that will be absorbing heat, and then during the evening, that will radiate heat. And this will create a little microcosm, a little microclimate. So there we go. Let me come back in front of the camera. So there we are, the exotic tropical border, the tree fern garden. Signs of life here. Spring is here, and definitely signs of life in the tree fern. Subscribe, hit the notifications bell, because I will be doing regular updates on this border, and I'll probably do one of those time-lapse shots where it just grows up so quickly. Amazing. I'm very happy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.